Dr. Casey Jordan, a criminologist and attorney, and forensic and clinical psychologist Gary Bricado, visiting scholar at Boston College. He's also the author of the 2019 book, The New Evil, Understanding the Emergence of Modern Violent Crime. Welcome to you both. This is a difficult conversation, and I want to think about a lot anytime we cover one of these things. Casey, I want to start with you. What should we make of what we saw Kohberger today? That lack of any sort of emotion other than intensity. Do you have any insight into what he might be thinking?
Well, the theme continues that he is intense and cold and detached. I mean, this is what we heard from people who knew him in his PhD program, fellow students, faculty. And really, it's just the theme of his life. And remember, even his defense team had made motions saying that he'd been diagnosed with autism and that they should be taking this into account. So there were no real surprises. It was just business as usual when he said the word yes. I think everyone wants to know what brought him to this place. And, there's a saying, there is no atheist in a foxhole. On the eve, less than a month away of his trial, he has to, even if he's devoid of emotion, understand that he is about to undergo a tremendous amount of stress, an onslaught, a firestorm of overwhelming evidence is about to come down on him, and it could result in his own mortality. So as we get closer to that date, this is sinking in on him. While it may not disturb him tremendously, I do think he still has love for his family, or at least emotions or caring for them, and he didn't want to put them through that. We know he didn't even look at his family today in the courtroom. But, people are like, why did this happen all of a sudden? I think he was not up for the revelations that were to come, and he didn't want to put his family through it.
Yeah, another very difficult question. Why do you think it is that we see people glamorize or romanticize killers to the point that, they're getting love letters in lockup after hearing about the heinous acts that they committed?
Oh, there's so much interest in what we call hybristophilia, this attraction for the bad boy. The more heinous the crime, the more intense the attraction. And 90% of these hybristophiliacs are women in love with these murdering men. And the psychology of that is interesting. And I couldn't agree more with Dr. Bricado's assessment of Bryan Kohberger. It always comes down to power and control. Interestingly enough, for the women who are in love with the serial killer or the mass murder, that is also a weird tap dance they have with power and control. Very often they come from abusive relationships, and this is a way of being in love with somebody who could be their abuser, their stalker, and yet he's incarcerated so he can never actually physically harm them. It is a safe and very perverse relationship in their mind, and they believe that they can save them. They have a fixing or a saving concept that I see something in their eyes. They're truly innocent. No one understands them except me. And I hate to just put it bluntly, but many of these people just don't have a life. And being in love with a famous person gives them a sense of infamy and purpose. To have the attention of this person, however bad, makes them feel valued. So that's something we're going to look at quite seriously, because we know that he's getting letters from these young women, and he will continue to after conviction. Now he's not a suspect or an alleged murderer. He is a murderer, a mass murderer. And sadly, that could even tune up the number of people interested in being his friend or his girlfriend.
Dr. Gary Bricado, Dr. Casey Jordan, thank you so much for helping us try to make some sense out of this insanity that we saw today. Very difficult conversation. We'll be right back after this short break.